Growing up, I'd find myself in unpleasant and sometimes exciting places and situations. Now with time and perspective, I've learned to appreciate those moments. Yet I still don't look forward to going through similar situations and experiences in future. The main lesson has been that to grow, I have to find myself in various spaces, situations, and sometimes people. Just like a droplet of water, we need more droplets to move. That's why this chapter is titled, Water Moves as Community. This conversation is with Nangamso Gumbe, someone I deeply resonate with, not only as a fellow South African, but as someone who has graciously and continuously responded to a calling. 27th of August, Tuesday, the time is 10:33. I think this is going to be my last recording of this second season of the Mayor's Office, and I am in...
You're in Legon, University of Ghana, Legon.
Yes, I didn't want to get that wrong, so I had to pass it. And I'm chilling next to a fellow South African. Not only a fellow South African, but we share the same birthday. That was a wild discovery. I had a weird birthday because I was sick for most of it, but it turned out really well because, people took care of me, and yeah, I felt the love. How was your birthday?
My birthday was pretty dope. It was really interesting. I wanted to get out of the city. I was really adamant about being inside nature and with nature, being with the ocean, because I connect a lot with the ocean for various reasons. So the fact that I was with the ocean, I woke up with the ocean, that for me was really, really important. I didn't have network, so people's messages or calls weren't coming through. So it was really peaceful, but I could feel the love. Like, it was a really beautiful day for me. Yeah, it was kind of trippy. Like, I was like, whoa, this is like life. Like cars and shit, like I see that, but this right here is life.
Damn. Okay, that's my plans for next year on our birthday, I guess.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Who am I? So my name is Nangamso. I'm a creative. I'm an artist. I create spaces. That's what I'm currently working on now. I am going through a very interesting journey of just figuring out what it is that, or currently how I can sort of execute my creative energy. And that has taken me a bit away from what I came to Ghana for, which was to come here and complete my master's degree, which I still plan to do at some point. But I think my purpose is a bit higher and a bit more than that. And I think I'm trying to figure what that is. And so far, I am currently working on creating one of two spaces in the city that basically brings artists together, creatives together in various different ways, and creates a space that they can basically incubate their art.
In the city?
In the city, like as in Accra.
Damn.
Yeah.
As a South African, how possible is that?
It's a challenge, I won't lie. It's a big challenge because I think just in general, everyone is sort of reluctant to something that seems unfamiliar, right? So here's the South African coming with their ideas, like, why are we gonna come subscribe to this? Why are we gonna bring our art here, our creative energy here? Which I completely understand, but that's why I've spent a year observing and being part and seeing where I could maybe fit in, and instead of trying to just arrive and just create and be and all of that, and I think that it's helped me because I've gotten to understand the artistic culture and the creative culture within Ghana. and within Accra, to be more specific. And I think that it's very different to what I know in Johannesburg, Pretoria, Eastern Cape, KZN, which are all spaces that I have sort of participated in artistically. So yeah, it's a challenge. It's a very different sort of culture, but it's really interesting because I feel like there's a lot to take in that we as Southern African people might not have. Yeah.
I mean, you could have done that in your community.
Sure.
Where you grew up, the cities you've been exposed to, but you do it here. And that's your ambition. Why?
I mean, I could have, and I completely agree with you, and I've considered it so many times. I'm just like, why am I doing this here? Why didn't I just go to SA and do it there? But I think more than anything, I think I was saying this to you earlier, I am a child of the universe. I go where the universe sends me. I don't ask questions, I just go. So I think the reason why I'm here perhaps is maybe because I think that there's maybe something for me that will allow me to maybe connect or make certain connections between my reality and the reality of the people that surround me in Southern Africa, and my reality and the reality of people that surround me in West Africa. I've worked with a few people in this part of the continent. We've done a panel discussion in South Africa that connected Nigeria, Ghana, and South Africa. So I feel like my sort of purpose as it is, and as I understand it now, is to act as somewhat of a transmitter between different realities and different worlds. So connecting, because I mean, when we had the conversation, it was so interesting because we had a Skype conversation and we're Skyping with someone who's Nigerian who currently lives in Ghana, who's actually the CEO of the company that or the organization that I'm working with. So it was so interesting because you could literally see two worlds, two completely different worlds that sure had similarities, sure had understandings, but two completely different worlds come together at one point. And that on its own, I think for me was like my instant gratification. And I was just like, I have to continue doing this in some way. So if it means that I'm able to create a space where I can get artists from South Africa to come here, spend a 2-month residency, have artists from Ghana spend a 2-month residency in South Africa, that I think is something that I feel is something that I need to, at least, even if I don't achieve it, work towards it. Yeah.
You're in a university right now. You're in the School of African Studies.
Yeah.
So your experience of Ghana is quite unique insofar as experience it from an academic point of view.
Sure.
How's that?
It's interesting because, I mean, the academic sort of world in Ghana is very much similar but very different to how I've understood it in South Africa. I think that a university is very interesting because it sort of brings so many different people from so many different places together. But at the same time, the way it is placed in society now, it doesn't necessarily impact society the way I feel that it should. Theses get written, completed, people get cum laudes, people get distinctions, and then their writing gets put in a shelf and it collects dust. And these are, I mean, people go into communities, they do research, people get grants, people get awards, but they don't necessarily go back to the community that gave them all of that information and say, okay, this is what I've gained from this. Here's what I can maybe give to you, or this is how we can work together to. So I think a university is so interesting because it places itself inside the society. However, and it takes a lot from the society. However, what it gives to the society is for me, how I see it, not necessarily equivalent to what it takes, to how much it takes from it. So that's what I'm sort of seeing as well with the University of Ghana. It's like this sort of village that is inside the heart of Accra, but it's just it doesn't connect. It's not part.
There's something that connects to community, and I've been privileged to be part of. That's the Chaliwote Festival, because it is based on the community and the primary culture. Something that is very unique comparatively to South Africa, where a festival feeds from a primary culture and doesn't create an urban culture, especially for myself being from Johannesburg. I've never witnessed anything like this, a public display of primary culture and modernizing it and taking it to the people and still benefiting for the people. And what I saw from an internal point of view were the community benefiting in ways that they found fit. Whatever they wanted to sell, they have access to every space, including backstage. That was amazing for me. I've never seen anything like that. And you were there as well. That's where we actually met.
Yeah.
Very brief meeting.
Yeah.
And it was really amazing to have met you there as a fellow South African, you know. How was the experience from you? And I know we had a conversation just now a few minutes ago, and I guess you don't have much background knowledge about the festival, and you were asking interesting questions. But you know, just from a consumer point of view and someone who's not from Accra, how was your experience of the festival?
I think Chaliwote was very interesting in the sense that, so this is my second time. I was there last year, and my experience this year was very different to what it was last year. But I think there are certain common threads that I see. I think it's a very, I think Accra needs a festival like Chaliwote, because it sort of engages so many different generations in a way that I have never seen in Accra. It engages a lot of different generations. It engages a lot of different types of human beings. Like in one street, you see people from all over the world, people from here, people from, like, literally you can be anyone and be at Chaliwote.
True.
So I think it's really interesting that they've been able to create a space like that. Even some of the art that's there as well, I think is really cool. Unfortunately, this time I didn't get to see it as much because we arrived much later, and the later the festival is, or the later you arrive, a bit more crowded it is. So, but I think it's a really, the way in which they've been able to get so many different people in the same space is something that I don't think I've seen a festival do, not just in Accra, but in different parts of the world. Yeah.
You speak some native languages, and you've been here for what, a year? What languages do you speak, and how do you go about learning a new language, especially as an adult?
So in Ghana, or any Ghanaian languages, I'm trying to learn Tree. So I speak, or it's kakra, so very, like, almost minimal. And I'm trying to actually learn as much as I can. Most of the languages that I speak are Southern African languages, based on the way in which I grew up, places that I've lived. But I think language is a really, really important thing, because language doesn't just help you communicate with someone, but it also helps you understand another sort of human being or another culture, because a lot of the ways in which we understand the world, life, reality is based on how we can articulate them. So understanding how someone articulates something is really interesting because it allows you to understand how they see the world. It sort of puts you in their eyes. So learning languages, I think, as an adult is almost an essential, and that's why it's important for me. My dad is from Mozambique, so I'm in the process of learning Portuguese, and I'm in the process of learning Tree as well. I'm also picking up a bit of Pidgin because it's almost everywhere here in Accra. So I'm trying my best to pick it up as well. So yeah.
Amazing. Almost at the end of this conversation. You explore the world. You've been in a couple of countries. I got that from the conversation we just had, and I assume that this is the longest you've been in any country. Why?
I ask myself that question quite a bit because there are sometimes, not to say that Accra is not the place that I want to be now, but I generally have a very nomadic spirit. So once I get used to something, I crave something different, or I crave something new. So there are times when I'm just like, okay, maybe my time in Accra is over, not because Accra is not good for me, but because I just want to see something else. But I think I've taken the time to maybe sit and be here for some time, because I think that there's a lot for me here. There's a lot of lessons, there's a lot of clues, there's a lot of answers that I have sort of gotten within the past year that I haven't gotten ever in my entire lifetime in South Africa. And that's just because of comfort. And I'm still, even though in a year being here, I'm still somewhat uncomfortable, and not uncomfortable in a negative way, but uncomfortable in the sense that I still am really trying to navigate, whereas staying in a place that I grew up, it's like everything is just so easy, or everything is just so it becomes so habitual, whereas here it's like you have to, yeah. So I think I'm not really answering your question, but I think that the reason why I've decided to be here for some time is because I think that even before I came here, I knew that there was a lot for me in Ghana, just in general, even like in terms of my spiritual consciousness. And I've decided to honor that and sort of be here, because I think the beauty of having a nomadic spirit is that you're always exploring, but at the same time, the challenge or some of the negatives about having a nomadic spirit is that you're never there long enough to actually understand maybe why you are there, or you're never there long enough to, sometimes you even find yourself running away. So people who travel a lot, as much as they are very conscious and very much understanding, a lot of them will tell you that, hey Charlie, maybe when I moved from here to here, I was running away from this, or running away from that, or dealing from that. So I'm in a very insecure place in my life right now, so I'm trying to sit in it and be there and be present, as opposed to just finding a new exciting thing. Yeah.
What's your dream?
There's so many, but I think right now my dream is to just open my eyes and wake up in a place where I don't even know, where people wake up in the morning, go outside their garden, pick the food that they're about to eat for the day, create a space where people are not working but just creating. Like people are, because I think we as human beings, our sort of what allows us to vibrate on high levels, or what sort of elevates our consciousness, is our capacity to create. And whether it's creating another human being, or creating art, or creating a space for people to create, I think for me, my dream is to see human beings living their purpose, which is to create. That is my dream. Being in a space where everyone is creating, and creating like people that are creating food, people that are creating music, people that are creating art, people that are creating jewelry, people that are creating hair, like just creating, because that allows us to, or that for me is a connector between us and our source.
Love that. This show is called The Mayor's Office.
The mayor.
So the reason why I call it The Mayor's Office is because everyone that I have a conversation with, I regard as a mayor of some sort.
Okay.
Be it a community, be it themselves, be it a cause, you know. And everyone I have this conversation with, I have very personal, can I say, I click with them personally, you know, and because I see that, okay, there's something there. And that's what I experienced with you. So here's the question. If you were mayor of anything or anywhere, what or where would it be?
It would be an alternative universe for damn sure. Like, it wouldn't be somewhere here, because there's just so much baggage that comes with being anything systematic here. So it would definitely be an alternative universe. And for me, it would just be a space where, like, I don't even have to do much. Like, I just have to be myself. And me being myself inspires other people to just do whatever they do and be themselves. So to answer your question, it would definitely be an alternative universe. Not a universe here on Earth. And I don't necessarily think that because Earth is doomed, like, I'm not of that perception. But if I have the choice, I mean, you gave me a very broad, so I'm taking that and I'm running with it. And I'm definitely saying I'm choosing to be a mayor of an alternative universe where awesome things happen and people just are amazing and do whatever the fuck they want to do. And yeah,
I love that. Do you think this alternative universe and its seed can be planted in a certain country or city? And if so, which one?
I definitely think so. I think that sometimes even us as human beings who are actually human beings and not human doings, like people who be, I think that there are people who actually exist in more than one universe. So I think that it is a possibility to have just a heightened patch of land, like, and I would say literally anywhere. My only condition would for it to be on the continent of Africa, and for it to be somewhere where all four elements of the earth are engaged. So earth, fire, water, air. So that would obviously make it have to be a coastal place. But I don't have any specifications as to where exactly I would have this place. But I just want it to be in the continent where anything can grow. Like, you can just plant a seed and next year it's a whole tree. So just let the conditions be fruitful and all the elements be there, and then we're good to go.
That's it. Nangamso, the mayor of an alternative universe. I'm looking forward to you making it happen, having these seeds live, especially here in Accra. I'd love to see that space, because it's very close to what I have in my heart and in my mind as well. And seeing that happen would make me so happy, because it's for practical reasons, it'll save me so much time for me to make it happen within myself, and knowing that there is actually a community not only from here, but we have people with similar principles, similar ambitions, and for me, that spells the reality of a connected continent, beyond the poetry.
And the romanticism behind it as well. Like beyond the romantic. Yeah.
It has to work for us to be better anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, if the motherland, if the mother house is not where you can run to, then you fucked anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Sure.
I haven't really gotten much time to know you and to learn about you, since this is pretty much my last day. Tomorrow I'm catching a flight back home. I'm crying all the way back home. Still got love for home though. But that's it. It's another episode, and looking forward to seeing you again. I don't know where, I don't know how, I don't know what circumstances, but I know it's gonna happen.
Sure.
And that's it. Another episode. And very important, we're recording on your phone.
Yeah.
So this was proudly produced.
Featured, thank you.
That's it.
My device, please put it in the credits. Device used, Nangamso's iPhone.
Got you.
Thank you.
Well, that's the end of that chapter, and the beginning of a new one. The story continues. So wherever you're watching or listening to this from, please press subscribe and share with your people. This podcast is produced with other amazing storytellers, starting off with the visual direction by Studio Dirty Native. The visual podcasts are interpreted to South African Sign Language by Thuli Zikalala from Yellow Owl, who happens to be one of 11 SASL accredited SASL interpreters. That's a huge flex, by the way. The music and scoring is produced by xSipping of Father Ape Studios. The homie did an amazing job on this one. The social media and project rollout strategy is by Eric Ipalibu Thomas. Thanks for listening and enjoy your day.